YouTube? What kind of yo-yo review to do today? This is the YoyoFactory shutter wide angle. That's right. So, YoyoFactory shutter wide angle, the newest shutter to join. Maybe it's not the newest, because I think there was another Shuta. Did that come out after this? Anyway, the newest full release shutter to join the shutter lineup. This is what Gentry has been using. I think he used it at Worlds. He definitely used it at Nationals. And it's basically a wider, updated shutter, but it's really different. Doesn't really play anything like the old shutter. So before we talk about that, let's get into the specs. So this has a 56 millimeter diameter, which is pretty similar to the original. However, it is 48 millimeters wide, which is why it's the wide angle. So basically, it's a stretched out shape of the original shutter. 4.55 millimeter gap width. Standard gap width is usually like 4.5, so that extra half a millimeter does kind of make a little bit of a difference, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And this weighs in at 64.3 grams, which for a 6061 monometal, I think this is 6061. Tell me down in the comments if it's not, but I think this is 6061. For a 6061 monometal, that's pretty friggin' light. So let's talk about it and let's compare it a little bit. So here it is up next to the original shutter, the OG, the regular. As you can see, the diameter is pretty much the same on the original shutter. It's just a lot wider than the original shutter. Now, by today's standards, the original shutter is a little bit more narrow. I mean, it's not terribly narrow, but it's sort of on the narrow side of normal. This, however, is wide at 48 millimeters. Super wide. It is wider than the Yoyo Silenus by just a little bit. Kind of hard to see on camera there. Probably by like a millimeter, half a millimeter wider than the Yoyo Silenus. Similar width to, I should have brought it out, but I didn't. Like, you know, the Manatee, the CLYW Manatee. So definitely lives up to its name. It is the wide angle shutter. So first one of these I played, I was like, oh, I don't know, it's a little bit slippy. Gap's kind of big. So a 4.55 millimeter gap width is rather large, and I think the one I played had those white pads that I always complain about. This one has the blue pads to match, and I'll show you when we take it apart, but this one has the blue pads to match the body. Blue pads are great. They grip great. No slippiness, so no problems with this one, but I guess my sort of be warned, YoyoFactory matches the pads to the color, and all pads are not the same level of grippiness. This, because it has such a wide gap, is going to need grippier pads, and so if you get something with white pads or pads that just aren't grippy enough, you're going to want to change them out for grippier pads. Shape, very similar to the original shutter. The cup looks very similar. It's a little different, but still very familiar looking to shutter fans. You know, see the thick rim here and then down into the cup. It plays a lot different. That was sort of the first thing that I noticed when I got this, is that like this plays kind of light and quick, and the original shutter just sort of plays like very stable. Not that it couldn't go quickly, but very just kind of stable. The width on this I like very much as well. Really just overall, in my opinion, this is just a better shutter. You know, they said, YoyoFactory said that this was sort of the update to keep the shutter on the forefront level of performance, and I think it absolutely does that. Comes in at like 55 bucks, so it's a little more expensive than the original shutter. I'm not exactly sure why, but we'll get into that when we take it apart and stuff and do pros and cons. Overall, great playing yo-yo. It's a lot. I think it's more fun than the original shutter. The original shutter to me was kind of clunky feeling, but I think this hits all the modern performance ticks very well, and it's really fun to play. I've been playing it a lot. It's a great performer. Despite being pretty light, it spins a long time and is pretty stable. So let's go throw it around a little bit. I'll show you what I'm talking about, and we'll go from there. All right, we are back with the wide angle shutter. So I really like the update to the shutter. I think this is absolutely way better than the original. And I mean, it's just, it spins a long time, which is nice, but it's also super light, and, I mean, comfy, and it's a familiar shape, but it doesn't really play anything on the string like the original. Plays wide, because clearly it's wide, and, but it plays, like, very rim-weighted, and very stable, like the original, but light. I mean, I can't stress, like, enough how light this feels. Like, for it being, you know, size-wise bigger than the original, you know, as in being wider, but still having the same diameter, it's a lot lighter. Like, it's, like, 3 grams lighter, and you really feel that, not only when you hold it in your hand, but when you play it on the string, so much lighter. Like, I mean, we're talking, like, night and day differences. So, that was sort of the biggest stark, like, contrast from the original for me. The grind finish is cool. It's like that shiny blasted finish that YoyoFactory used to use a lot, but have sort of, I don't want to say fallen away from, but you don't see as often, but this looks really good. Grind's nice. No complaints there. I always liked this finish. I'm glad YoyoFactory used it because I like it. The cup is very similar. You can totally hit finger spins. This is a little bit more, it's a little bit smaller than the original shutter, so it's a little harder to finger spin on this one. But finger spin tricks are sort of falling by the wayside a little bit, so, you know, you can definitely still do it. I missed. If you hit the cup, or if you hit the outside of the cup, it's not like it's no man's land. You could do it, but there we go. So, it still finger spins pretty well without actually being a finger spin yo-yo. And, you know, despite being wide, doesn't really feel like it gets in the way, but, like, hits everything nice, and, I don't know, just kind of plays nice, and YoyoFactory did a really good job with this. Like, I really like this. Mine came with a little bit of vibe. You can't feel it on the string. Whoop. Bashing the Christmas tree. Can't feel it on the string, but it's got a little bit of vibe. Like 9 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. Little bit of vibe. Nothing crazy. You know, just a little bit of vibe. Some of them are, I played, the couple that are SW Randall are dead smooth. SW Randall definitely has these in stock. Link down in the description if you want to pick one up from them. They will ship it to you, I believe, for free. And, yeah, the ones I played with at SW Randall were dead smooth. Mine's got a little bit of vibe, but not much. My wife got me this for Christmas. And, I don't know, I like this color. It's like a little bit of a, like, darker aqua. Very cool. And, just really been having a good time with it. Definitely a neat yo-yo. The wide angle is cool. And, yeah, so let's go throw it on the desk. We'll take it apart. I'll show you guys what the insides look like, and we'll do pros and cons. All right, and we are back on the desk with the wide angle shutter. Very cool. Really been digging this. I think YoyoFactory did a really nice job with this. The shutter's sort of their, like, flagship model. It's the one everybody's got, like, 4 of, and in different flavors, and I think they did a really nice job with this one. I think it takes care of a lot of complaints that a lot of people had with the original shutter, and then updates it for what's sort of more modern, as in, like, 2017 modern, for performance and for what people just use, you know, in competitions and whatnot. And it's clearly what Gentry wanted because it's his signature yo-yo, and he's been using it and been doing pretty well with it. So, absolutely a cool yo-yo. Like I said, mine has the blue response pads. The blue ones are grippy enough. They're very good. But if yours comes with white because the white matched them better, you may want to change those out because the gap is a little bit wider than normal. And you're going to want to change those out for something grippier. Blue are pretty good. Gold are pretty good. And red are pretty good. Or just, you know, silicone. The clear, like, not clear, but like the hazy, cloudy ones that look like silicone. Or the one-drop flow groove pads. are grippier pads, and this one's going to need grippier pads because it does have a little bit of a wider gap. Comes with a center track bearing. You can see it right there. Center track bearing. Spins good, spins smooth, spins quiet. I've never had any problems with center track bearings. I think they're awesome. They always seem to work and need very little maintenance, and I appreciate that very much. So, always a fan of the CBC center track bearings that come in YoyoFactory stuff. I usually steal them from Yoyos I don't like and put them in Yoyos I do like if there's a problem with it. I totally dinged that off an ornament and got paint on this. No scratches to the Yoyo though, so the ano is pretty durable if you hit it off your Christmas tree. So let's do pros and cons. So pros, wide. Wide is good. Wide helps you hit your tricks. Lots of Yoyos are wide nowadays. I like wider Yoyos. And this is no exception to that. The finish is very nice. I like this shiny finish. I think it looks good, and I think it grinds really well. And I'm glad YoyoFactory is using this on some of their models again, because I think this is a good looking and a good performing finish. Finger spins are still very doable, just like they were with the OG shutter. The cup is very good for them. If you catch it in there, you get some good ones. And you can also finger spin around the rim here. Just, you know, overall solid design. It's kind of a tried and true sort of a thing. It's worked out for a long time. So why fix what ain't broke? And they didn't do that here. Thumb grind lip, I didn't do this, but there is a thumb grind lip, same as on the original shutter. Thumb grinds are easy. You're not going to have a problem doing it. A really good update to what was sort of the quintessential all-arounder. Just sort of made it perform better, made it wider, made it easier to catch, and just sort of able to handle what, you know, 2017 and beyond has brought to the table. So I do think the shutter needed an update. I'm glad it got an update, and I think the wide angle shutter is a solid update for that. So as far as cons are concerned, price, it's more expensive than the original shutter. I'm not really sure why, because, you know, I don't really see it as being like a crazy feature change or anything like that. It's about between $5 and like $10-ish, between $5 and $10 more expensive than the original. You know, like I said, I don't understand why necessarily, but maybe it's just the price of manufacturing changed and price needed to go up. That being said, I definitely think that it performs well within its price range. It sticks right up there as one of the best $50 Yoyos or so, or $50 or so Yoyos that you can get. Absolutely hangs with everything in its price range. I don't think you're getting ripped off by buying one. Let's put it that way. But you know, I kind of wish that it stuck at its $45 price point, but at 50 or 55, it ain't bad, but just it's a little more than it used to be. Like I said, grind finish is good, finger spins are good. Other cons, it's got a little bit of vibe. You know, I kind of wish it was a little smoother. My OG shutter's really smooth. You know, maybe I just got one with just a hint of vibe. You know, and they churn a ton of these out, and like I said, I've played smooth ones, but mine's got a little bit of vibe. So, you know, your mileage may vary there, but I don't mind vibe. It's fine. I'm gonna clearly hit it off things, so it's gonna develop vibe anyway. So, no real squabbles there. Just it exists. But yeah, I mean, you know, not a whole lot of bad things to say about it. 55 bucks, you're getting a solid Yoyo, a Yoyo that will do everything you ask it to do. Hell, you could win nationals or worlds with this if you really wanted to. Gentry came pretty close. And I know he's going to give it a shot again, so we'll see if the shutter wide angle can take him as far as the shutter took him, you know, in years past. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Shutter wide angle, definitely a cool Yoyo. I super dig it. I've been playing with mine a lot because it's really fun. Check out the new Zipline Strings t-shirt. Links down in the description. This is the t-shirt I meant to wear in the Christmas haul video, but it was in the wash. Well, now it's clean, and I'm wearing it again because it's great. It's that like nice soft rayon that the G2 ones are. Super good. I dig it. And also hit 2,000 subscribers. So exciting. We're over 2,000 subscribers now. That's awesome. Hit the goal. Wanted to have 2,000 subscribers after Christmas. Hit it on the 26th, first thing in the morning, and couldn't be happier. So thank you to everybody who likes and subscribes. You guys are awesome. And thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been the Shutter Wide Angle review. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.